All right, good afternoon, and welcome to our April 3rd meeting of the Wadsworth Cable Commission. I would like to first ask for approval, motion and second for the approval of the minutes, the February 6th minutes that was sent to us on March 6th.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Thank you. Any correspondence? Do we have any correspondence today? Seeing none. We do have a visitor. Thank you, Mayor Lawbaugh, for joining us today. Okay, hold down the fort back there, so thank you, appreciate it. We'll turn right our attention to the staff reports, and starting with Service Director Mike Testa.
A couple notes before we start. Kevin had a scheduling mix-up and did not realize he must have erased this appointment from his calendar and didn't find out about it until it popped up to remind him he had 10 minutes before the meeting. So he will not be here, but he has put together his presentation and will be sending it to you over the next couple of days.
Perfect.
So you'll have that. I also want to mention, we had discussed at our last meeting bringing a proposal for an increase in cable rates to the commission. We're still working through some of the numbers on that, and once we get more of a solid draft and have a chance to review it with the service director and the mayor, then we'll bring that back to the commission. I would expect that we will have that ready for you guys to at least take a look at the June meeting.
Okay.
I'll jump into an update on the fiber project. Again, it continues to go well. We've recently completed splicing work in the Lyman, Akron, Hall, College, Pardee, and Boyer areas. Construction completed in some areas along Ridge to Wolf Creek, Fixler, Highview, West, Baldwin, High, Lyman, Broad, Obel, Good, West Norwood, and Orchard. In the process now of working in some other areas in the Ridge to Wolf Creek section, and then testing some of the fiber that's already been run along Orchard, Beechwood, and Browse. And then underground construction, doing some work in Bluestone and Edenmore. So to date, we have about 2,200 homes that have the infrastructure available to them. We've got about 600 homes that have completed installations, meaning they've already been hooked up and they're using the new fiber system. Approximately half of those folks also have the streaming TV package, which is a nice number. We've completed another 600 drops. The drops are basically the piece of fiber that runs from the telephone pole or the pedestal by the street to each house. And we've got about 400 homes that are in the queue that we're trying to get scheduled. One of the things that's taken a little bit longer than we anticipated is that, a lot of times when we go to schedule an installation, we end up leaving a voicemail message and they may not call us back, and, might take a second or a third call. So one of the things that we've done to speed that up a little bit is we've asked all of our CSRs to make a minimum number of outgoing calls specific to the installation process. So the idea is, if maybe we're only getting 15% of the calls to get a response on that day, we're just going to up the number of total calls so we get a higher number of installations to keep the technicians and the installers busy. We've had some success getting up to about 45 installations a week, which is pretty good. That's close to what we thought the max would be, and we've actually exceeded the max. We've had up to 56 installations. But part of continuing that is making sure that we've got the pipeline full of appointments. So that will continue. I also want to give you an update on a couple other things going on in the city. As you know, we've had an EV charging station in the city in the King Street parking lot. It was completed, the construction portion of it was completed about a year ago. And there were some other things that were going on in terms of setting the rate and working out some tax and warranty issues. We have finally gotten just about all of that behind us. There's 3 charging ports. 2 are level 2, or what I call the standard ports that would typically, come to a full charge in maybe 4 to 6 hours. And we also have a level 3, or sometimes you'll hear it called a DC fast charger, which can charge a vehicle to about 80% of its battery capacity in about 30 minutes. We've done our part. The last piece of this is for the manufacturer of the station, which is a company called Flow, F-L-O, and they're a Canadian-based company. They're doing some things online where they're basically upgrading some firmware and doing some things to kind of commission the station from their end. Both of the level 2 chargers are ready to go, just waiting for us to turn those on. They've had a problem, for whatever the reason, communicating with the level 3 charger. We've had our guys check it out to make sure all of our connections and everything that we've done to supply the infrastructure is in working order. So I think the next step is going to be for them to have one of their techs come out and take a look at it. It sounds like it's a relatively easy fix. Because of that, I would fully expect at this point that we would see the charging station open probably no later than the middle of next week. So that's good news. Also want to let you know about the water meter improvement project that we have going on. Basically, our water meters are a product of a company called Itron. Itron also supplies our electric meters, and they're very big in the electric meter market. Over the last couple of years, they've switched gears and decided they're not going to be in the water market any longer. So they've stopped supporting and started phasing out products that kind of fell under that umbrella. We were at a point where we're reaching the life expectancy of the batteries in some of the components for that system. More specifically, the encoders, or sometimes called endpoints, which are basically the devices outside of the house that take information from the register and the meter, and basically through radio frequencies sends that information to our software and our system. It's conveying the reads from the meter. So in the old days, you'd have somebody walk around and write down the meter readings in pad and pencil. Then there was a technology where somebody could just drive a van down and pick up the reads as they went. And we're really into kind of the third version of that, which is, no, there's endpoints built into the system, and they send us the information. We're going to be hiring a contractor to basically come in and replace approximately 11,000 endpoints. It's good timing because we're starting to see some of those endpoints go. And in particular, the colder winter that we had this year knocked a handful of them out too. So we're pretty far along in the RFP process. In fact, bids are due tomorrow. And I'm anticipating that we'll have some good bids. We held a mandatory pre-bid meeting last week and said, unless you come to this meeting, you're not going to be eligible to submit a bid. And we had 11 different companies and a total of 20 people participating in that from the vendor side. So there's been a lot of interest in that. So we're excited about that. I think that's probably a 12 to 18 month project with a ballpark target of doing about 3,000 completed installations for any given 3-month calendar quarter, or 3 months quarter of the calendar year. So that's underway. And we also talked about some of the previous rate adjustments that we made. So as you may remember, in addition to talking about pricing and the things that we do with the Cable Commission, we also had rate studies done on our water, sewer, and electric rates. The water and sewer rates were discussed last year, and adjustments were made for the 2025 season. But we'd been waiting on the electric department rate study. We finally got that. We're just in the process of starting to go through that, and we haven't had an opportunity yet to go into the real deep details with the consultant. But I'm anticipating that over the next month, we'll have gone through all of that, and then based on the recommendations in there, most likely bring something to City Council if an adjustment is warranted. I mention that just because we kind of look at rate increases in a large picture of, things that go out on the utility bill, maybe it's isolated to water, or maybe the electric department looks just at theirs, but the person at home that's getting the bill is looking at that and saying, well, what's happened to my total bill? And our utility bills in Wadsworth, fortunately, are very low. And we've been very responsible about keeping costs low. So we will do the same thing that we did with those other rate studies, is that we will look at this and consider its impact in relation to everything else that's going on that a customer sees. So I wanted just to provide some context for some of the other things going on at the city that may impact or be on the kind of on the ancillary edge of what we do here.
Mike, I have a question for you with regards to that. So the cable rates that you mentioned that were bringing us back to us in June to at least look at. What is the process for how that gets final approval? Is the final approval through the Cable Commission? I would assume it's through City Council or some.
Yeah.
What is the final process?
This will be the first time that I've done it on the cable side, but I can tell you what we did on with the electric and the water rates. Is that we typically do the study, we go through everything on the administrative side with the consultants, and really put pencil to paper to make sure that whatever recommendations they're making are justified. Once we've figured out the number part of it, we make a recommendation to City Council, and then ultimately City Council votes to accept that recommendation, or they could choose not to accept it or to choose a different amount for the rates. I would expect that something similar would happen with the cable rate proposal. We would review it here, make sure that we're all on the same page. It would likely be presented to the commission next, and then after incorporating any thoughts or ideas that commission members may have, then it would be packaged up and presented to City Council.
So in June, we'll get the proposal, so to speak, and have an opportunity then at our following meeting? Or is the June meeting where we should be prepared to make some comments to you on?
Well, ideally, we would get that out ahead of time. I've asked Kevin to provide, his final draft to me by the end of this month. That gives us time to review it internally for a couple of weeks. But if it, my expectation would be we would be presenting it before or at the next commission meeting. Kevin would give a presentation on it justifying that. And then based on that, if the commission members had questions or concerns, they could take another meeting if they needed to, or they may look at that and say, the reasoning's sound and we understand why this is happening and it's in the best interest to do this quickly. And then, we would present that to City Council. I would say that typically with rate increases, City Council would take that 3 readings.
Yeah.
Meaning we meet, as a City Council meets basically twice a month, so that would play out over probably six weeks over the summer.
Won't it go to public service before it gets to all of council, though?
It would.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it sure would.
There's that intermeeting step.
Yeah, I don't want us to delay things, but I just want to see what our role is in the process there.
And typically, like our next public service meeting is Tuesday, so it typically is the week after when the Cable Commission meets. And that changed. It used to be that we'd meet on the 3rd Monday, but this year we've moved it to standing meeting on the 2nd Tuesday. So after the commission, it would go before the committee relatively quickly if they
good.
so chose.
Thanks, Mike. Any other questions for Mike? Appreciate that. And we'll turn to WCTV update. Joanna?
Thank you so much. Your first page there and the first slide shows our statistics for the first quarter. If you see there, we have 385 new programs on WCTV, resulting in 435 and a half new hours of programming. As you know, we have 2 sites where people can watch our on-demand programming, our watchwctv.com, which we've had for many, many years, and of course our new YouTube channel. If you see on the bottom there, year to date, we've had about 8,900 views on Watch WCTV. If you look over to the right there, look at YouTube for the first quarter. 232,000 views on our YouTube channel, which just goes to show how important that was for us to get started, and it is really growing. The next slide even shows you even more. We have over 4,400 subscribers to our YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, I invite you to go to that, watch WCTV on YouTube, and like and subscribe and share that to help us grow. Almost 3,200 videos there with 166 playlists, which are series or categories like the high school band, the choir, the graduations, the promenades, all kinds of priceless historical videos are on there. So please check it out. That next number, how many views? Over 1 million. We've had over 1 million views so far since we've launched the YouTube channel, which is awesome. And as you see there, over 37,000 of those are just the live broadcasts of our high school sports. So 40,000 views, and that does not count the replays. That is just the live versions of those. And then, of course, our big hitter on our YouTube channel is the Wadsworth Thriller video from last year's Downtown Scare on the Square. Right now, I checked today, 854,000 views. So I don't know, what kind of party are we going to have when we hit 1 million? Aiden did an amazing job with that, and it just continues to grow. And I wish I was more of an expert at digging down and finding out where it gets placed, because all of a sudden we'll have, like yesterday I checked, we had like 2,500 views in the last 48 hours on it. Like, where is it getting shared that it's exploding like that? So we will get to 1 million soon, and we will celebrate. On the next slide, just some videos that we've been working on, some projects that are showcasing our community. Of course, our Grizzly sports, girls and boys lacrosse, we have two of the coaches that are recording those for us and bringing us the games so we can air those to our community. Aiden's been working with all of the schools on their Great Grizzly Domino Effect, where the kids have donated food items, and you can see, it's kind of hard to see, for you to see in here on that picture in the corner there, but those are all cereal boxes, cake mix boxes. They lined the schools up, and Aiden visited each school as they set all their food products up and did it like dominoes. It's really cool. We'll have that video out probably early next week. He also went with the school representatives to the Medina County Food Bank, and where they donated over 1,800 pounds of food. So we were able to document that, so that was great. We're working with Main Street Wadsworth. We've committed to help them with doing some of their promotional videos, including a monthly commercial for their First Fridays. The Wadsworth YMCA and the Suprema Senior Center, of course, our neighbors at the Wadsworth Community Center. The YMCA does a quarterly show called Why the Y, and this quarter's show was featuring their partnership with SUMA. And then I hope you will all have a chance to check out the Suprema Senior Center St. Patty's Day stand-up comedy show, because it features our very own Roger Polk doing his comedy routine. So it is quite entertaining. They took classes on being a comedian that were offered at the senior center, and then they performed it. So we were glad to capture that. As always, Bruce is still on the loose and continues to be out in our community showcasing our community and other communities. Yesterday, they had Aiden and Bruce had the opportunity to attend the Akron Rubber Ducks Media Day, which was pretty exciting. So there's that picture there of Bruce high atop the stadium. So we'll be having that on WCTV in the next couple days. Bruce is famous for featuring our new downtown businesses that open up. In fact, they are beginning to call us and ask us, when can we be on Bruce on the Loose? So that's a testament to his stardom, right, Bruce?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Absolutely.
We were really thrilled to be able to get one of the first looks at the new Next Step Up emergency housing shelter in Medina. So we were able to take a tour of that before it opened. And always we're glad to do features on the schools and things that are happening there. We did a Bruce on the Loose at Colony Lanes, talking about the Wadsworth High School bowling team that competes there. We did a construction update last week at the new Wadsworth Intermediate School, and we'll continue to do those until that project is finished. And we had a nice interview in the studio with the Four Cities Compact Diversified Medical Technologies Program. So we're always happy to showcase the things that are going on at Wadsworth City Schools. I want to congratulate Bruce for being a Senior Advocate Hall of Fame inductee through the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation. They will have their induction ceremony on April 23rd at the Performing Arts Center at the high school, and that award recognizes those who make a significant difference in the lives of older adults in our community. So congratulations to Bruce, and I am also being recognized at that award ceremony with, I'm honored and humbled by this, but the Leatherman Lifetime Achievement Award. So Bruce and I will both be there accepting that award on April 23rd, and we thank them for that, for recognizing us. Also, yesterday I taped a show with Lori Wilkinson from the Senior Center, and she has started a new series there called Aging Well in Wadsworth, This Is Your Life. So that's on our YouTube channel. I believe this is the 7th or 8th show that she's done, and she's done a great job with it. So if you haven't had a chance to check out that series, it's on our YouTube channel. And we want to congratulate our latest winner in the WCTV Foundation 40 times $500 raffle, and that's Judy Roth. Most of you probably know her. She's been around Wadsworth a long time. So she came today and picked up her $500 check. You can purchase tickets for $10 every time we sell 100. We will pull another $500 winner. And then we have our latest fundraising event at the substation on April 15th. So every 50% of your check will go back to the WCTV Foundation. So just show the flyer or go to our social media and we'll have something posted there that you can show. So we thank the substation for partnering with us on this, and we're looking forward to that. So that's all I have. If anyone has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Any questions for Joanna? I'd like to congratulate Joanna and Bruce. Very well-deserved honors for the Senior Center Advocate Hall of Fame. So very well-deserving. I know both of you are very humble about it, but you deserve the honor, and congratulations.
Well, the Senior Center has really become one of our most important partners, really, not only because they're right across the hall from us, but being able to partner with them with virtual programming and help them. We've trained some of their volunteers to be able to record, capture their own things that are going on at the Senior Center. We've helped them purchase equipment so they can do that, and so it's really become a valuable partnership.
Great partnership, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
We'll go to our council committee reports and start with Susan on the council.
Okay, thank you. So Mike gave a nice update of some of the things that council's working on. And generally, you know, council, we do our part, which is to authorize them to enter contracts and spend money. And they do the work, and they do a great job. I do feel like we're, you know, this first part of the year, we have been authorizing some, you know, work to proceed on a handful of, you know, big multi-year projects. One, of course, being the fiber, continuing the fiber project. We you know, every once in a while have to approve something to keep that moving along. We approved work to proceed on a project at the airport at this last meeting. We have approved work to be done on the very first steps of the Brickyard project, which is, of course, a multi-year big project in Wadsworth. The water study that he mentioned, and, you know, just a lot of things that, you know, we're that are going to take a long time, but that we are examining, studying, and giving the support that we need to. And then the other thing would just be the Pocket Park is really getting nice looking. That is really attractive. I drove by yesterday, and I think it's going to be really nice. So I think that'll be, you know, finished sooner rather than later.
Good. Thank you, Susan. Any questions for Susan? Appreciate it very much. School report, it's one of our favorite weeks of the year. It's spring break, so everyone loves this week. We are getting close to the sprint to the finish at the school, so I would just ask everyone to keep checking WCTV. It's such a great job of supporting and promoting school activities. Lots of end-of-year activities coming. In every building has some kind of end-of-year activity that'll be all over the airways here in the future. I'd also remind everyone, please be safe with our students. Springtime, kids get out and about a little bit more around on their bicycles and running around. And as we know, sometimes students don't always pay as close attention to things as they should be. And we'd ask everyone to please mind themselves and mind our students there as well, please. The new building, our intermediate school, is coming along. We are scheduled to open up in August next school year. Really in great shape going there, making a lot of progress. And our current CIS, are in negotiations agreeing to sell that building to two community members, Bob Thurber and Todd Boffman, and their group are working on purchasing that from us. And I'm looking forward and think it's real exciting of how they're going to preserve that building, mainly, especially OJ Work Auditorium, which I know the community is vitally important for them to do that. So they're working through that, and lots more information coming out in the future on that. But that process is going well. There will be an opportunity for our community to do a kind of a final walkthrough of Central Intermediate School. We're working with the First Friday group on kind of setting that up probably in June. And we're working through that here, but to give an opportunity for our community to kind of say goodbye to Central Intermediate School. And then certainly in August, we will be welcoming and opening up our new doors, and another opportunity for our community to come and tour our new building, and real excited about how that new building is taking shape. So excited with that. At that, we'll turn over to is there any new business for the Cable Commission? We got any new business? Seeing none, our next meeting will be June 5th, 2025 at 4 p.m. right here in City Council chambers. And with that, I will ask for an adjournment. Motion and a second.
I move we adjourn.
I second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.